Hello, my name is Thomas Carruthers.
I'm Will Leggetter.
And we're continuing Meryl Mania with our third film, Postcards from the Edge.
Help me.
Just came by to say hi and make sure that everything's up to snuff. And we're going to need a drug screen.
Excuse me?
It's a formality of the business.
So do you want blood or urine?
I think urine would be fine. And we'll see you outside, okay? Have fun.
Thanks. Hello, dear. Hi, Mama.
No, you see, she's exactly like me when I was her age.
What I'm doing, I feel like I belong.
Film after film. I never stopped working.
I know how to do that.
It was very good therapy for me after my divorce and my miscarriages.
Good times and bum times, I've seen them all in my dear.
Ever since I was about 7, I wanted to be you.
Another Mike Nichols directed film, starring Meryl Streep, obviously. And Will, I do believe that this was a virgin watch.
Bart does you in his drag show.
I am still here.
How would you like to have Joan Crawford for a mother? Or Lana Turner?
These are the options. Are you sure I didn't sleep with you?
Sleep? Yeah.
I was with him Saturday night. That's 2 girls in one day. Yeah, that's just the ones we know about. You said you loved me.
I admitted at the time.
Well, what is it, a viral love? Kind of a 24-hour thing?
Never let him see you ache. That's what Mr. Mary used to say. Or was it ass? Never let him see your ass.
What did you think of, brief bio, it's written by Carrie Fisher based on her best-selling book, Postcards from the Edge, a pseudo-autobiographical, the book is more or less a diary of what she actually went through in her first stint at rehab in 1991. Obviously, she didn't know that she'd be there again. I was listening to the commentary track this morning, and she said, it's kind of funny now because this ends so happily. And then 10 years later, she's back. Yes. And then the book is mainly just the rehab stuff. It's non-linear, and it's more stream of consciousness. And then the film, through Mike Nichols' sort of notes, became the story of this mother and daughter, and also the Dennis Quaid bit. Will, what did you think of Postcards from the Edge?
Well, firstly, I'm very excited today for the book corner. I want to know because obviously they've changed the names in the movie. Yes. And it's not so much autobiographical. I'm interested to see how much of it is dramatized or what's been changed from the book.
Yes. Well, the book is also Suzanne Vale. It's right. Okay. The mother's not in the book. That's what I'm saying. The book is. Oh, but
she needs to be there.
Well, she does. Yeah. We're gonna the wonderful, the incomparable Shirley MacLaine as Doris.
So you look at my notes, and it's pretty much full of Shirley MacLaine.
Full of Shirley MacLaine. I mean, did Shirley win you over this time? Because you were a bit dicky about her what you saw as overacting as Aurora. I guess it fits more this time, doesn't it? The overacting.
Yeah. I enjoyed her a lot more in this. But there was still moments. However, for some reason, the moments where she does go for it are my favourite. I mean, we'll get to my favourite minute. I think you know what it might do.
I hope so. Yes, and we'll almost certainly get to it.
Remember my 17th birthday party when you lifted your skirt up in front of all those people?
I did not lift
including
my
that guy
skirt.
Michael.
It twirled up. You only remember the bad stuff, don't you? What about the big band that I got to play at that party? Do you remember that? No! You only remember that my skirt accidentally twirled up!
And you weren't wearing any underwear.
Well...
Yes, well, yes, I'll, well, I was thinking, actually, we could do it throughout So if you've got a real life question,
interweave it in.
Yeah, if you've got a real life
a fine A-level essay.
Yes, a beautifully well written A-level essay. Yes, no, because the commentary track this morning, she basically just, it was a bit like a fact checking thing. She was just like, well, no, that's not real. But it's not. I like it in the fact that it's not supposed to be an autobiography. This isn't the film of Carrie Fisher's life. So when she's like, oh no, that didn't happen,
yeah,
it doesn't annoy me as much. Whereas in like we watched Rocket Man again the other day as a family. I adore Rocket Man. I think it's excellent. I mean, it's without a shadow of a doubt superior to.
We don't talk about Bohemian
Rhapsody. I think I can't remember if I said it on the podcast or in private conversation with you, where I said that I'd call Rocket Man a film. So rather biting and bitchy. I loved Rocket Man. Actually, in America, every person I talked to about Rocket Man and Bohemian Rhapsody, I mean, specifically a girl called Emma, one lovely woman, a dancer, and she thought Rocket Man was just appalling, just genuinely terrible.
It's
Americans
polarizing. Have a strange infatuation with Elton John.
Yeah.
Like you ask them to name, you see all these people, like these interviews they do on TV shows where they're like, oh, name 3 British people. The Queen, Elton John. Everyone knows Elton John.
Yeah. I remember Jack Black fanboying one time on Graham Norton when he was on with Elton John, and he was like pulling out all these songs that were just on the album. Yeah. YouTube comments. Opening line Hall of Fame. Why don't they speak English?
We're doing it. Right, coming down from the helicopter. Oh, it's a nice pan.
It is. It's a lovely opening shot. I remember the first time I saw this film, and I thought, "What's happening here?" I completely fell for it. I'm usually on these things, but I completely.
But you thought it wasn't the filming.
I thought she got done for drugs in like a foreign country, and that was why it was really bad. But then, you meet the wonderful Gene Hackman in this film.
Oh.
2 scenes steals the show. Maybe. I mean, he doesn't steal the show.
Gene Hackman.
He doesn't get to sing a Sundance song. So he can't. He's sat on the bench.
It's as if you're just reading down my notes list.
Yeah, I've got in. I'll jump a change. I've just put more Gene, more Callow, more Dreyfus. This film, you can't. I love a good ensemble. It's one of my favourite things. And but you can't tease me. You can't tease me with Gene Hackman, Simon Callow, and Richard Dreyfuss. I'm not allowing 2 scenes each on these people. Yes, so YouTube comments. You know you're a legend when Meryl Streep plays you in the movie of your life. Why isn't Carrie Fisher mentioned as the screenplay and book writer? I mean, that's specifically for the trailer. I don't know. It was worth watching, but it seemed it was more about doped up actresses than about recovery. I hear the book is different.
You can't have one without the other, though, can you? Really?
Yeah. I remember watching this with somebody, and they enjoyed the film. I mean, they loved Meryl, and they had ironically, they had the same problem with Rocket Man. Is that they felt it was a bit. Oh, look at me! I feel sorry for me. I'm a drug addict. They didn't like that. They didn't, and I said, well, these are obviously stories that are true, and also I don't think Elton gives himself any leeway in Rocket Man. I mean, he gets pretty insufferable in that sort of middle.
Yeah.
I don't think it's. I mean, you could see it as, look at me. Oh, I was so bad. I was so mental because of my drugs. But I don't think. I think he's pretty rough.
I think, especially in this case with Carrie Fisher, it works because it was a really sad life.
Yeah, and also Carrie actually agrees with this commentator. I was listening, obviously, on the commentary track, and she says that if she could do it again, she wouldn't let Suzanne off so easy. She would put her a bit through the ringer more. Her exact quote was she wanted her in the hospital bed at the end.
So, I was staying with Meryl last summer for a few days when she asked me to help her out in her garden. It seemed that a certain type of bug was shamelessly eating her raspberry plants, and something had to be done, and quickly. It appeared Meryl and I were going to have to kill some insects. She was this vicious bug crusher without conscience. I learned something that day. Don't mess with Meryl.
Instead of Shirley. Shirley looks like she's having so much fun basically playing her friend.
I had to find this out the hard way. Not that I crossed her. I was her in the sense that she played essentially me in my semi-autobiographical screenplay, Postcards from the Edge. And after Postcards premiered, I began daily to see the pain and disappointment in the eyes of my family and friends. Every time I wasn't Meryl. There's a name for this condition, as it turns out. Meryl-noma, streptococcus. Meryl, you're either the best friend a person could have or the best damned actress in the world. I love you.
I can actually see perfectly in my mind Debbie Reynolds saying all of this with the same expressions and inflections, etc., that Shirley is using. Debbie Reynolds wanted to play Doris Mann.
There you go.
She wasn't allowed by Mike Nichols. Mike Nichols was pretty firm on Shirley.
Your daughter is, the success of Carrie is unbelievable. She's got a new book coming out, a new film.
Isn't it great?
The children, good luck to them. How proud you must
Carrie's
be.
very talented. And she did this movie, well, she wrote the novel Postcards from the Edge, and now they've finished it, and Meryl Streep is the star, Shirley MacLaine also is the star. And it's supposedly about a mother and a daughter and all of their problems and their pulls, and everyone thinks that it's me, it's not. Carrie wrote a novel, but, you know, I'll have to bear
Is there a lot of you in it?
Not really. It's really about a big, they fight a lot and they argue. And
you didn't?
No, we didn't.
Do you think the public is going to assume, since this will be played up, that, in a sense, Shirley MacLaine is playing you?
I think so, but it's not true. No, Carrie wrote it. That's to her brilliance as a writer. Everyone will think that because it's so well written and it's so honest. It seems so honest, but it isn't really about Carrie and myself. It's the novel she wrote.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think you would have had to have Carrie play.
You'd have to take it that other step. Do you know what the sunglasses are called that Meryl Streep wears in this film? I don't know if anybody's a biggest sunglasses. Oh my God, I can't even speak.
They're just aviators, aren't they?
Oh, I can't remember. At the beginning of the film, you see a shot of the theatre outside, and it is showing Casualties of War. A good film. I agree. Casualties of War is a good film. It's Michael J. Fox doing a bit of serious acting. It's Vietnam, and Sean Penn rapes and abuses this girl, and Michael J. Fox is in the same troupe, and he's like, "You can't do that. I'm going to tell." And then Sean Penn's like, "You're not going to tell." It's a great film. Great film. Next comment. Here we go. I love it when they start a chain. So, alluding now to Oscar travesty, Shirley wasn't nominated, much to her dismay, and I think to my dismay as well. I think definitely switch it from Terms of Endearment. I think Shirley. I think if Shirley, I mean, we'll get to supporting actress because we actually did it on Goodfellas. We've done this Oscars, but obviously not with you. I think you'll be very happy with who wins Best Actress. I can't. Oh yes, I do remember now who won Best Supporting Actor. Shambles.
Oh, I'm excited.
We'll get to it. I wonder why Shirley didn't get nominated. And then somebody's commented, probably because she lifted her skirt up in front of all those people. And then I think that was supposed to be a joke. And then somebody's put, yeah, I think it's like a reference. It's obviously a reference. But
it's a reference, yeah.
And then somebody's commented, why would that prevent her from getting a nod?
Oh.
Who knows? Best 10-minute stretch. Will, why don't you start us off?
Oh, I think the breakup roundabout there.
Oh yeah, that is good.
That's a nice
with Dennis.
Yeah, and you can slowly see it's all just going downhill in that I like that. I mean, that's a great scene, isn't it? When she goes to the shower, is like, "Can I see you? You're right. You want my ID?"
I've seen it. Yes, this is previous to this is after one of my single minute nominations with the wonderful scene with Annette Bening. Yes, I adore Annette Bening. She looks terrific and very young in this film. She's just marvelous.
I'd say my other contender for best 10 minutes is when they both have a go at singing.
Well, I mean, it is this. Let's just get to this now.
Okay. That is the best 10 minutes.
I've got 3 nominations, and I'll just rank them. Number 3, car crash into hospital, final thing. Second is the stare argument, and then number 1 is you don't know me into I'm still here.
I've got stairs for my minute.
Oh, right. Good old Stevie. There he is.
Hey, there he is.
This is the collected lyrics of Stephen Sondheim. So Mike Nichols actually got Steve to write new lyrics. That's why they're changed. Because I used to have the thing, I used to be like, oh, why did they change the lyrics? And then I realized that Steve also wrote them. And so I'm okay with it. And he's wrote about it here. I have often changed the lyrics of I'm Still Here through my career for selected actresses who I admire. He did it for Barbra Streisand for her album Broadway. He did it for somebody else, I can't remember. So here we are. The second, at Mike Nichols' request, was for a fictional character named Doris, modelled on Debbie Reynolds in his movie Postcards from the Edge, which was based on a book written by Reynolds' daughter, Carrie Fisher. That lyric combines the chronicles of both Reynolds and the actress who played her, Shirley MacLaine. The original was a loose biography of Joan Crawford. Everybody should buy this book. It's incredible. It's like a big, thick Bible. I love it. And that's only part 1. That's only up until this is only up until oh shit, Merrily We Roll Along, and then I've got the second one down there, which is All the Lapine years. I mean, it is this. I think that this is probably Meryl's best singing.
Yeah, especially with the final scene when she.
Yes, I'm checking out. Yeah,
that's great. That's very good.
I think she does. I think she's does very well. I mean, we talked about Mamma Mia, and we joked a lot, but I think that Winner Takes It All. I think her acting pulls her through. There are lots of specific points where I think she falls a bit flat. However, in this, I mean, obviously there's the bit in the middle of You Don't Know Me where she's like, I don't know the words, but very natural plays into it. And obviously you need the punchline of You're Never Going to Beat Mother. When Mother
and then Shirley just comes up and bam.
Just incredible. I mean, I alluded to this before the call. I think it was the other night. And I said to you, never has a scene combined so many of my favourite things. Mike Nichols directing, Shirley MacLaine doing I'm Still Here. I'll throw in with Meryl watching. I like Meryl to an extent. I like Meryl. I find it odd actually that Meryl's our second Fortnight, because in the long rankings, I mean,
not near the top.
She's not near the top for either of us. I don't.
Probably because, starting this podcast, you made all of the. You chose all the films.
That's not true at all. That's not true at all. We went back and forth. That first series, we literally went back and forth, Will.
Oh yeah. But you said, "Oh, give me a list of songs you like." I did, and then you compiled an order. Sorry, of movies, and you compiled an order, and then all of a sudden these Fortnights appear. I'm like, oh, okay. Woody, yes.
Woody Allen. Well, that's next. It's a double Fortnight actually next season because it's Halloween. It's Halloween. It's our Halloween.
Going into. I'm very block 4 and 5. I can't wait for. We've got Halloween, and then we've got. I mean, spoilers, but we've got things like Chicken Run, Titanic, and then we've got our Christmas extravaganza.
Yes, overlapping actually over block 5 and 6.
Like the Simpsons episode, when Mr. Burns gets killed.
Who shot Mr. Burns? Yeah.
That was the series finale, and then the opening episode of the next one.
And who did?
Maggie Simpson.
It is Maggie. That's always a good. That's always a good trivia.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Good film. It is. I'm Still Here. It's Shirley singing "I'm Still Here." She does an astoundingly good job. When my favourite part in the whole film, I could have put it in specific, but I know I'd talk about it here. Is when she starts banging the piano. I think it is just the power of that song as well. That is that's in my top 5 Sondheims. It's in my favourite Sondheim Follies. When you get a good actress doing that, I mean, my favourite, I say this is my favourite rendition. It's not. It is Elaine Stritch doing it at Liberty. An incredible one-woman show, which I don't know how we'd get around to doing, but I'm sure I'll find a way. And because she is obviously of a later age when she sings that song, and those words, even though they're for Joan Crawford, based on Joan Crawford, not for her, but that is the story of any storied woman's career in this showbiz industry. And obviously, he changed a few for this film, and even his new lyrics are incredible. But when that song is done well, it's incredible. I mean, I went to see Follies when they did it at the National Theatre the second time round. They did that, then they put on Hadestown, and then they were like, "Oh, let's put on a good show again."
I quite like Hadestown. Yeah. I'd probably only ever see it once. I've got a few issues with it. I love how it's based on Greek mythology, but then they try to reset it, but then you've still got the old names, and I think if you need to modernize them. Yeah, but I like it because it's good representation again for the bass baritone. Nice low songs.
I think in actuality, your enjoyment comes from the fact that you listen to it. I think when you're sat there for 2.5 hours, which I did do at the National Theatre, before it went to Broadway, actually, they did it.
Yeah.
I think you notice a lot more that this is very samey, far too long, too many reprises. The story stretched remarkably thin.
I think if I was to describe it in one word, I'd say plodding. It sounded it plods along.
What a great word. We'll get to this on our next Inside Number 9 episode. Did you know that the original title for Love's Great Adventure was going to be Plodding On?
I mean, I am in tune with some of our greatest writers.
Yeah, I mean, it's very Bennett. It's very, soldiering on with Stephanie Cole. By the time that this episode comes out, we will have no doubt marathoned all 18 monologues of the Talking Heads revival, which we're both exceptionally. Hopefully, it lives up to it.
A great cast.
An astounding cast.
What's your favourite?
What's my favourite one? Head?
Yeah.
Original series or just the monologue? I think
monologue. What's your favourite?
I've actually put Talking Heads down as a possibility for a TV show.
Yeah.
But I'd say I love Bennett himself doing a chip in the sugar. I think that's incredible.
My favourite is the old woman talking about the biscuit that
cream cracker under the city, throwing edge. Yeah, that one's good.
That's great.
Oh, I love Patricia Routledge doing A Lady of Letters. I love it all. I think Julie. I really like Penelope Wilton doing Nights in the Garden of Spain. I think that's terrific. And I really like Maggie Smith doing Bed Among the Lentils.
Who doesn't like Maggie Smith?
Oh, incredible. And then you're like, I can't imagine anybody doing this, anybody even attempting to do this 45 masterpiece minute monologue again. And then you're like, oh yeah, Leslie Manville's doing it. What? This is incredible. and then I'm like, okay, Nights in the Gardens of Spain. I can't imagine anybody other than Penelope Wilton. Oh well, they've cast Tamsin Greig. This is astounding. And then obviously, I can't imagine anybody other than Patricia Routledge doing Lady of Letters. Imelda Staunton. These are incredible castings. It's so exceptionally exciting. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. But back to Postcards from the Edge. I think we can move on from the party scene.
Incredible.
Tom's weirdly specific favourite part of the film: angry Gene Hackman with the coke, where he snaps at her
I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill you, and I'll do a better job. No, if you want to go kill yourself, then do it. Oh no, actually, I'll kill you for you because you're so jumped up. You'll probably botch that too. Excellent, and then you got such that beautiful payoff in the looping scene, where he's like, no, I've got another job for you.
Oh, I love Gene Hackman.
He is the heart of the film. I don't think the film. I mean, it does still work because the crux of the film is that mother and daughter. But I think if you don't have that loop scene and that angry, long shot scene at the start, I think the film...
It's the perfect amount of context.
Does feel like it's just missing a touch. As you say, it's enough of a context of that outside world of this mother and daughter. It's excellent. I love the Hallway of the Dead. Can you remember, Will, the stars who are on the Hallway of the Dead?
I can't, Tom.
Lenny Bruce.
To list them all.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I don't actually have them, so I have to remember myself.
You have to channel them with your eyes closed.
Judy Garland, Gary Charles, come on, get happy. Jim Belushi, Food Fight. Lenny Bruce, fuck this, fuck that, fuck that. Elvis, little things they do. That was Elvis singing a Buddy Holly song. I, for some reason, started singing. It's the little things you say and do make me want to be with you. Breathe on, and I can't. Billie Holiday. I love me. Why not take all of me? I'm glad that you said channel them so that I got to do my incredible Billie Holiday. That's an impression that you don't get to pull out very often because people are like, sorry, who are you? Who are you? It's not like a Walken. Like, everybody knows Christopher Walken. It's like, oh yeah, I do a mean Billie Holiday. What are you saying?
You know what? After you've done that, I can see exactly why you wrote tributes.
Yeah, I guess. For context for people, I've written a pilot following 5 tribute singers. Well, I've written more than a pilot, actually. I'm just about to finish the 3rd episode. How exciting. Back to me. I love the Shirley intro, where Shirley comes in to the rehab, and you've got the 2 gay guys who just adore her and then sing Whistling Pines. Yeah. Whistling Pines, which is a song that Carrie Fisher made up and wrote the little lyrics for. Yeah. And then you have the great closing gag of who did a Dr. Klein. He does everybody. Wonderful stuff. Cake. The cake has Meryl's face on it. I mean, I of course you noticed this. I mean,
well, like the cappuccino in the IT crew.
Yes.
It's a bubbling over.
Just like that. Quad intro. Dennis Quaid intro. I feel like I've slept under an elephant's foot. I really like Dennis Quaid in this film.
He's all right.
I think you believe him when you're like, oh, okay, maybe this is her saviour. And then obviously, I've got this in a second. Movie tricks. I love every time, and they never do the same gag twice, but they do a lot of them where it's like, where she's hanging on the thing and then she gets up. I love that. I love when Dennis Quaid comes to see her at the set and the background drives away. The live snake scene with the cactus and the guy pops in. I think, so I don't know how to explain it, but I think it beautifully sets up the context and the visual language of the film of fantasy, reality always coming in.
It's very clever.
The Annette Bening scene. The whole concept of Saturday afternoon, I was Saturday night. Again, just like Carrie Fisher, let's not get too autobiographical, but that's just a very specific and terrible thing that Dennis Quaid does. But he gets his own back when she fires the blanks at him. I love that scene.
Yeah. Relax the blanks, asshole.
Asshole.
What was I supposed to think when you didn't come home? Do you mind if I have a drink?
Do you mind if I drop acid?
Dear, I drink socially.
I took acid socially.
No, I hardly think that my drinking can be compared with your drug taking. Even if it could be. I think that your involvement with drugs has vindicated me. I hardly think you're in a position to judge me.
Mom.
I do hope you were not out sleeping with someone.
Oh, I wasn't out sleeping.
If you were, I hope you used condoms. I didn't raise you to act this way, but if you are, I hope that it's your morals in question and not your judgment.
Mom.
I love Dennis Quaid's line delivery of when he goes, "You were easy on that first night," and she goes, "I thought we didn't do anything that first night," and he goes, "I lied." But he clicks. I think it's exceptionally delivered.
As I said earlier, I love that scene.
It's a great scene. Yeah, and she's still in a police costume. I love movie breakdown scenes where people are still in costumes and stuff that they shouldn't, and outfits like for whole half-an-hour stretches of the film.
He's like Rob Brydon describes Pacino in The Trip. He's not afraid to touch his face. He's got the wet hair look, and he's got his hands all over his face in that scene.
And he has that great weed cough where he goes, "And it just quit." So, I love Shirley putting vodka into her milkshake.
Yeah, I've got that
with full Kate Blanchett. Obviously, my favourite part of the stare argument is it twirled up. And then you weren't wearing any underwear. Well, what a national treasure we have in Shirley MacLaine. And then I love the scene in the bit in the hospital where she's got no makeup on and she's obviously got no hair because in the studios, they just fucked him up something rotten in those early days. Like they put Judy's got her smoking and on all sorts of pills, and as she says, they shaved her eyebrows off. But the hair, they put all these chemicals in it, just rotted their hair. Like Debbie Reynolds isn't bald. Carrie Fisher was very quick to bring that up on the commentary track because I presume Debbie gave her much grief. But yeah, no, these poor women, they get to a point, and it's a rotten system. Will's more general favourite parts of the film?
Yeah, I love Meryl's moustache.
Oh yeah.
That's when it falls off. The bit where she's got like the bag of crisps and she really emphasises that she just throws the crisps everywhere. But the whole Shirley upstaging with the singing, that's great. That's
the guy, the guy going, "Now Doris sing," and she goes, "No." And then, do you want me to do it? Yeah, do it. I don't understand. Okay. I'm still here in D flat. Brilliant. Incredible. What a woman. What an incredible actress.
I love Shirley's limp hand in the scene with the producer when she's and he's like, "If you want it, you got to follow our rules." And she's just there the whole time with like this limp hand, like
it's incredible. We haven't talked yet about. I mean, you might bring it up in a second, but when she flirts with Dennis Quaid, when Dennis Quaid comes over, and she's just flirting up a storm. She does a marvelous job. Continue.
Both Gene Hackman bits. The "I'll kill you," and then the whole. I love the dubbing scene, especially with Meryl just laughing at. Yeah. I love it. It's the innocence of it. It's great. It's great shit.
It's great crack.
Great. I love when she's on about when he's on about him having an affair and sleeping with another woman, and she's like, the endorphins. No, sorry, the endorphins. I like that bit.
That.
Yeah.
She just mimics Annette's voice. Beautiful.
And then, of course, the gun where she just gets in the car and shoots him.
Wonderful jumping, manic jumping from Dennis Quaid. Yeah. Anything else?
That's my list, Tom. That's my list.
Well, it's time for Oscar travesty. We did touch on this year's Oscars with Ava and Garth for Goodfellas episode. However, this isn't a Goodfellas situation. There is more or less not much at all for Postcards. Nothing in Best Picture. I mean, we talked about getting rid of Ghost. I'd definitely put Postcards in over this.
Ghost doesn't deserve an Oscar nomination.
No, which we will get. Well, we'll get to it now. Oh. Ghost doesn't deserve an Oscar, which is maddening. Why Shirley is not even nominated for Best Supporting Actress, and Whoopi Goldberg won.
Why did she win for Ghost?
Oda Mae Brown, one of the oddest wins. I mean, in the Goodfellas episode, we talked about how Lorraine Bracco as Karen should have won. However, I didn't know that this was this year. And so I think Shirley wins. Close second, Lorraine Bracco. Close third, Diane Ladd in Wild at Heart. Do you like David? You don't like David Lynch, do you?
I'm growing to him.
Are you?
I am.
What have you seen that's making you grow?
I'm getting into the odd Twin Peaks.
Are you? When did this happen, Will?
I've just seen. Well, I'm seeing like clips on YouTube that come up, and it's getting, the algorithm. It's getting more and more sort of.
Oh, this is wonderful news.
It's because he's very abstract, and I keep thinking to myself, no, it's silly. But then I also think I'm a massive fan of Python. Even though you can't compare Lynch to Python, I should like abstract. So I just need to actually focus, watch Twin Peaks, I think.
Twin Peaks Twin Peaks is probably your best in.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking.
The crazy episodes are surrounded by less crazy stuff. It's not like you're just watching a Razorhead where it's 90 minutes of craziness. I think Wild at Heart, when we do get round to Lynch, you will love. I mean, it's Laura Dern, it's Nicolas Cage, and it's
Willem Dafoe. Love Nick Cage.
It's David Lynch's like fucked up version of The Wizard of Oz. I mean, it's absolutely mental. I love Wild at Heart. Great. I mean, definitely
I just see
Shirley.
Julia Roberts nominated for Pretty Woman. What's that all about?
Oh, don't get me started on that. Do you know what her Oscar clip was?
What?
It was her singing Kiss in the bath. That's the best thing that they can pull. Meryl Streep, she's very, very good in Postcards from the Edge, but she's not Kathy Bates in Misery. I mean, this is one of my all-time favourite Best Actress
performances. Best performances of all time, yeah.
I think I might kill myself tonight. She deserves it she deserves it more so for two of my favourite Misery lines are, I'm going to go put up my Liberace records. And was that as good as it was for you? Oh, what did she say? After the hobbling, and she goes, was that as good for you as it was for me? Incredible. Did Carrie not even get a nomination? That's shambolic.
Oh.
I mean, I love Woody, but Alice is not his best. Neither. I mean, what is this category here? Ghost won Best Screenplay written directly for the screen. Metropolitan is a movie I've been meaning to get around to. It's sort of a...
So, did Ghost was the big winner, was it, this year?
No, Dances with Wolves.
No. All right, okay.
It was a bit of a split, really. Dances with Wolves won Best Picture and Best Director.
You would have thought Goodfellas would have done well. I mean, obviously, I wasn't there in the episode.
Yeah, no, I like Dances with Wolves. I think it's a fine film.
Does Godfather 3 deserve a nomination?
I think it does deserve a nomination.
Okay.
I don't... I mean, it definitely doesn't deserve to win. I do think... Yeah. I like Godfather Part 3 to an extent. I think there is some stretches in that film which are excellent. And I think that there are some stretches, some character choices, some castings that are horrific. Absolutely horrific. Yeah, no. I think Goodfellas is the winner of Best Picture this year. I'd put Postcards in for a nomination. I'd also put Misery in for nomination. Awakenings is good. Oh no, Awakenings is very good. I do like Awakenings. No nomination for Carrie is baffling to me.
That's very disappointing. Yeah.
Green Card. What the hell is this?
I've never heard of it.
Peter
Weir. Andy McDowell.
Gerard Depardieu. This is a rom-com where Gerard Depardieu tries to get a green card by dating Andy McDowell. I mean, Peter Weir is incredible.
I think we should
Truman
do
Show
an episode
on Gerard Depardieu.
On green card.
Yeah, well, I'll wait for Depardieu Fortnight. I mean, Peter Weir's incredible. Truman Show, Dead Poets Society, Master and Commander, Picnic at Hanging Rock. If you're a Avalon. What are these movies? I mean, I like Barry Levinson. What is Avalon? Semi-autobiographical tetralogy of Baltimore films. What the shit is that even? What does it even mean? I mean, it looks. Oh, here we are. Best song. I'm checking out. Was an original song. Sondheim did win for his song for Dick Tracy.
Of course he did.
Which is a very good song. Not a good film. I mean, the film does look very nice, but I don't know if it needs best cinematography, and I also don't think it needs best film editing. Nichols for director, actually. I think we're neglecting talking about Mike Nichols here. Mike Nichols is one of my favourite directors of all time. Graduate, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, Birdcage, this, Heartburn, all. I think Working Girl is a film I find is okay. It's not my. I think that's a weak link, but I mainly think that's a weak link because of Melanie Griffith, not any of what Mike did. Carnal Knowledge, I even like a lot. But yeah, no, give Mike a nomination for Best Director. Will's favourite building or set?
Here we go. Well, as you know, I am a big fan of whenever they use a movie set in a movie. I do like that. I like the whole the post-production dubbing room with the big projector. That's a nice sort of setup. I also like when that scene when she's in his house and he's having a shower.
It's a good house.
That's a great house.
Better than Shirley's, better than Doris's.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Yeah. Sofa's too big. Living room doesn't look right. That shot when Meryl comes home and she just sprawled across the sofa drinking. Yeah. It doesn't look right.
Looks like
choice of sofa.
It looks like the setup for swingers in that Louis Theroux documentary where he goes to that swinging community in America.
Oh, what an episode.
There's just a room that is just mattresses. And you're like, Well, at least make a path. Maybe I am too OCD because
then you've got that guy. He's like, I'd like to show you my my scuba diving collection, and he's got that weird torture chair set up. But the best thing about it is it's the climactic scene where Louis is going through. He's actually at the party, and he's just
the best
politely...
10-minute stretch of the Louis Theroux Swingers episode. I have it here on DVD.
Do you?
I have it here. I have Louis Theroux's Weird Weekends.
Weird Weekends.
Yeah, I have it here on DVD.
It's when because they've got obviously a really nice pool and sort of outdoor yards. They've put a lot of effort and thought into it, but they've got like that little hut, and then he walks down the corridor, and you've obviously got the orgy room, and he just opens the curtain. It's like, hello, mind if I just join in?
Yeah, no, I've got best of Weird Weekends, porn, Head for the Hills, Swingers, Black Nationalism, Wrestling, South Africa, Thai Brides and Gangster Rap.
And then need to add that to our list of
things. And then I've got When Louis Met Jimmy, the first part, because this DVD came out in 2007.
Yikes, because he did Savile as well, didn't he?
Sure,
revisiting. That's a tragedy, isn't it? Because I bet he feels awful because he really did befriend him, didn't he?
Well, he does feel awful. That's why he made the second part.
Yeah.
And also I liked that he didn't backtrack and he didn't go like, yeah, I knew then that something was wrong. No,
because that was what Savile was. I don't want this to turn into a conversation about...
He was a very charming, to all extents, he was a very charming man who charmed a lot of people and was also simultaneously a monster.
Yeah.
Have you got any other favourite buildings?
And that was my favourite building or set.
Yeah, that was Savile Corner on Carruthers, Leggetter and whatever. Best single minute. I'll start this time. No, take it away.
No, I would. It's the argument on the stairs.
It's the argument on the stairs. I put it in 10 minutes, but specifically it twirled. And she's swinging that vodka around. I love it when people swing drinks around and a little bit spills. Maybe that's why Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf's my favourite play, because it's just people with a tumbler just hurling insults. And that's like at the end when George says to Martha, "Do you want a drink?" and she goes, "No, you're supposed to be happy." And be like, "Oh, she's gonna try and not drink anymore." But you're like, "No, drink! Say some more insults. Make it 3.5 hours long." Maybe that's just me. It is the stair argument. I've got other nominations. Less specific, all MacLaine scenes. I also have Rob Reiner's lovely cameo, where he comes in and he asks for urine and blood. Urine should be fine. Urine should be fine. When she's listening in to Simon Callow and the woman from Adam's Family Values who marries It. I'm sure that's a real name. But and it's going bulbous, yes, cellulite, yes. As I've mentioned, when she returns home and Shirley's just sat in the dark drinking, she goes, "Do you mind if I have a drink?" Wonderful stuff.
If it wasn't for that sofa, it would be.
If it wasn't for that swingers sofa. Best line. Do you have any, Will?
I've got twirled up and relaxed their blanks arsehole. They're my two.
They're two great lines. Where am I? Hold your lips just to hold you tight. And you want to know. Here we are. I did not lift my skirt. It twirled up. You remember the bad stuff, don't you? What about the big band that I got to play at that party? Do you remember that? No, you only remember that my skirt accidentally twirled up. And you weren't wearing any underwear. Wow. I was such an awful mother. What if you had a mother like Joan Crawford or Lana Turner? These are my options, Joan or Lana. And Lana Turner complained to Carrie Fisher through her daughter because she was still alive. And she resented the fact that She was in the same conversation. Joan Crawford, famously a terrible and abusive mother. Lana Turner, not an abusive mother, but do you know the story of Lana Turner?
No.
So basically, Lana Turner had an abusive husband who would beat shit out of her all the time, and then her daughter shot the husband dead and got off on not self-defense, but protection, because pretty messed up stuff. Wow. Suzanne, we're going to have to pump your stomach. I have to be there. Wonderful Dreyfus. I have some news. What? You had a dream I'd lost some weight, endorsed a line of clothing. Don't be fresh, dear. I'm going to start using that. So when I start saying to people, well, don't be fresh, dear, you'll be like, oh, Doris is out. Maybe my favourite line, Mum, this is my roommate Aretha. Aretha, what an unusual name. Yes, I think my parents were expecting someone black. Are you black? No. I love that Shirley is so out of touch with modern youth that she thinks that maybe Aretha is secretly black. So how long have you known Suzanne? Oh, about a month. Seems like longer, though. I know what you mean. I'm her mother, and it seems longer. Bit of flirting. I never said you were a monster. You don't say it, but you feel it. Somehow you lay the entire blame for your drug taking on me. Say that you think I'm an alcoholic. Lovely stuff. What's the change?
I don't know if I'd like it to use real names. I'm not sure.
It doesn't use real names. Oh, you want it to use real names?
Yeah.
But they're not real names. But they're not real.
What sort of movie would it be if it was just a biography?
Well, it wouldn't have the car crash. It wouldn't have the raging alcoholism. It wouldn't have it wouldn't have Dennis Quaid. It wouldn't have it's not an autobiography. It has autobiographical elements. Lots of conversations were taken. Obviously, there was great influence in the mother-daughter, situation. It was more so a piece that was influenced by real life than an autobiography. And Carrie, for the rest of her life, had people coming up to her like, or bragging to other people, and it eventually getting to her through friends of that's based on me, when it's not at all. Anything else?
But other than that, just more Gene Hackman.
More Gene, Callow and Dreyfus. Weird thing. Ooh. Did you know who that woman was at the end of the drug hallway scene?
No.
My point. Because I thought, because it's supposed to be Nancy Reagan, because she's going for the drugs and Nancy Reagan's going no, because obviously Nancy had the Just Say No campaign. I think it looks too much like Shirley, and it confused me for a while. And then I was like, oh, it's Nancy Reagan. Because I think it looks like it should be Shirley, and they just couldn't get her for the day. And you're like, oh, it's a drug scene, so maybe it's not supposed to be her. But with the wig and everything and the outfit, it looks too much like Shirley.
I suppose you could read into it and say, but maybe it's a mother's advice, sort of.
And also the end song, I don't know. I mean, I enjoy the end song. I think it's great. They're obviously having a great time. That the after party just started. The after shoot party started. Then the band just kept playing.
This is what's left from my notes. A great closing scene, but what really does justify this as a closing scene is that little look that Shirley gives from at the balcony. Beautiful. That sort of she's done it. Yeah. That's the best bit of that.
And it's not a music video. It's supposed to be a musical. And you'll like this, Will. Carrie, because in the 90s, not many people were making musicals. And so Carrie Fisher's like, they don't make these anymore. They don't make musicals anymore. This is like a country music Evita. So that's what the film is supposed to be at the end. A country music Evita.
Yeah, she keeps being compared to Madonna in the movie.
She does, yeah. You have a far better voice. What's left from Will's note?
I've just done it, Tom. If you were paying attention.
If I was paying attention. I've not got many notes myself this time, other than lovely cameo from Dr. Frederick Chilton from The Silence of the Lambs for a hot 30 seconds. And he's got far too distinctive a face and voice to not be like, don't trust him. Don't trust him. He's going to sell you out. He's going to sell you out, Hannibal. Alternate ending corner. There isn't one.
No.
A few fun facts. Do you have any?
I do not, I'm afraid.
Get ready for these.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah. Liza Minnelli reportedly told Carrie Fisher that the film resembles her own relationship with her famous mother, Judy Garland.
I saw that.
Meryl Streep did her own singing. I mean, that's pretty obvious. John Cusack filmed a whole scene at Suzanne's rehab. And his whole thing was that he used to belong to the Manson family, and his scenes were all cut. And they've done that annoying thing where they're not on the DVD. It's very annoying. Lana Turner was reportedly very offended after seeing the film. What's the age difference between Meryl and Shirley?
What, at time of recording? I suppose it's never changed.
It's never changed. Yeah, I was just kidding. Woof.
I would go for 15 years.
Exactly.
Oh yes.
Very exciting.
I'm good.
Yes, he is on the answers. A wonderful reference to my star turn in Footloose as the Reverend. Janet Leigh greatly wanted to play the role of Doris Mann with her daughter Jamie Lee Curtis as Suzanne. I can see that. I think I can more so see Jamie Lee than I can see Janet Leigh.
Yes.
This came up obviously with what do you call it? Terms of Endearment. This was another casting option for that. Castmates Shirley MacLaine and Annette Bening would become sisters-in-law a few short years later when Bening married MacLaine's brother Warren Beatty. In the novel, the mother is a very minor character, barely mentioned in a total of about 10 pages. Lee Remick was initially considered for the mother role. Her illness with the cancer that would ultimately kill her put paid to that idea. This is the only movie where Meryl Streep and Gene Hackman appeared together. I think they do wonderful chemistry.
I think they're very good, yeah.
Mike Nichols actually wanted to cast Alec Baldwin in Postcards from the Edge. I presume as the Jack character, that would be excellent. I think Dennis Quaid does an astounding job in this film, but I can really see Alec in
that would be great.
Shirley MacLaine is actually mentioned in the novel Postcards from the Edge. And that's my fun facts. So, Tom's big question. Which is the best Shirley MacLaine performance? You haven't watched The Apartment yet?
I've not seen The Apartment, no.
We'll table this for The Apartment episode. But then we should really table it for the Bernie episode. That's what we'll do. We'll table it for the Bernie episode because I think
Are we doing Steel Magnolias?
It's not scheduled in yet. Do you like Steel Magnolias? What?
I do enjoy it.
Yeah, I've always maybe it's my deep love for Terms of Endearment. I've always seen Steel Magnolias as like the poor man's Terms of Endearment. Because, I mean, there's obviously a lot more to both films, but, you know, at the end of the day, they're both cancer weepies. I mean, I adore Sally Field, my good friend Sally Field, who I've met, who I've had my arm around. Obviously, I love Shirley. I think Dolly does an excellent job. But also, we return to my dislike of Julia Roberts.
Meryl Streep.
This is not relaxed. This is incredibly upset.
Shirley MacLaine.
You could be a much bigger star than that Madonna. She hasn't got half your voice.
Dennis Quaid.
Did anybody ever tell you that you smell like Catalina?
Yes, as a matter of fact, just this morning.
Postcards from the Edge.
Boy, any more people in here, we're going to need a lubricant, huh?
A Mike Nichols film. Rated R. Starts Friday at select theaters.
We're going to go favourite MacLaine. I do like Sweet Charity.
I mean, that's incredible. I mean, if they could see me down, a little gang of mine. What an incredible... I mean, I adore Shirley MacLaine. If I was ranking it, she'd probably be up there in my favourite actresses. I mean, does two of my favourite performances of all time in two of my favourite films of all time, in The Apartment and Terms of Endearment. Then you add this, then you add Sweet Charity, then you add I Like Her in Steel Magnolias, then you add Bernie, which I'm astoundingly excited for you to watch.
Yes.
Jack Black.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey. Another Richard Linklater film. I love Bernie. Bernie needs. That's why I want to do Bernie on the show, because Bernie needs more. People need to like Bernie more. I don't know how Bernie came and went. I mean, that's a complete Oscar travesty. There's absolutely nothing there. Next question then. What's your favourite movie about movies? Because this is like one of my favourite genres, I think. And I think it's a thing with film.
Hugo,
yeah.
Oh, come on. It's not as though you farted during all your dialogue. We sat there and rushed it saying, "What's all that noise all over our lines?"
Okay.
No, it's not. I keep saying Hugo, but it's just a meme. It's a meme, Tom. I'm sure we'll get to it when we do the. No, if we're going to say a movie about movies, it really is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's my favorite.
Yeah, that's good.
That's brilliant.
I love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I mean, I love Sunset Boulevard. Billy Wilder is one of my favorite directors.
Yep.
I really love The Player. If we're going to allow it, Boogie Nights is my fourth favorite film of all time. If we count Porn,
A certain type of movie.
yeah, it's definitely a certain type of movie.
Ed Wood.
Ed Wood is my favorite Tim Burton. So
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder is one of my all-time comedies. That's going to be my big. When we get to Oscar travesty on that, that's my biggest campaign. I mean, wait, no, didn't he lose to Heath Ledger?
What, postmodern? Yeah.
Okay. If I remember that rightly, and Robert Downey Jr. loses to Heath Ledger, then I won't get too angry. But if it's
one of
any
his
other
best
year,
performances.
Yeah, if it's any other year, then I'll be very angry, and Downey deserves to win. I mean, he got the nomination. That's the hard bit. Like, he should have just swept. Which is a better Shirley MacLaine mother-daughter film, Will?
See, I think I prefer this.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just because she drinks more, and she's more exciting when she's drunk.
Preferably wild turkey. I think you could make the case that Meryl and Shirley make a better mother-daughter.
That's probably what it is. The chemistry, yeah.
I mean, you cannot beat the chemistry in both of these films. I mean,
no. That's the thing. You're comparing this, and then you're comparing the best thing about Terms of Endearment, which is the chemistry between Jack and Shirley. That's so it's a strange question, Tom.
Let's do it again. Synopsis of a sequel. I mean, Carrie sort of spoilt it. Does Sue? We know that Carrie Fisher. We know that Carrie Fisher went back into rehab, but does Susan?
Yes.
Oh, I was going to say no. Maybe I'm too wrong.
Life's a bitch.
Yeah. I prefer the ending now that because I always thought it was a music video. And I always thought it was like Dancing in the Dark, that they brought Brian De Palma into film, like a proper direct, and obviously like Scorsese doing Bad and John Landis doing Thriller. I prefer the ending a lot more now because of Carrie saying that it's a musical, because I think they both win. Because I think if it is a music video, then it's a bit, Suzanne loses some of her, not integrity, but loses some of her power by sort of being like, okay, I'll do the music video. Oh, mum was right. I think with it being a musical, I think that meets in the middle rather nicely. And I prefer that now that I know that knowledge.
But if you want to go for like music videos embedded into movies, Coyote Ugly is up there. With Leanne Rimes dancing on the bar.
Can't Fight the Moonlight. Yeah, one of my mum's like secret favourite songs. She loves Can't Fight the Moonlight.
It's a great song.
I think she bought my sister Coyote Ugly on DVD one Christmas, and I still don't think she's watched it. It was like one of those weird 3-packs where it was like Coyote Ugly, but also Clueless. It's like,
no.
Yeah, those are similar. Closing line Hall of Fame. End. Mark. And then I'm checking out. I'm checking out. Wonderful stuff. Will, do you have any final thoughts on Postcards from the Edge?
Great film.
On our halfway mark of Meryl Mania.
It's you don't really get many Meryl comedies.
No, you don't. I mean, we've done Heartburn.
She does it very well. I think the funniest Meryl movie I've seen would be no, when she's with Hugh Grant and he's
I knew you would as well. Do you actually like it, or do you?
You know what?
Are you going to go to that now for Florence Foster Jenkins?
I'm gonna try and I'm gonna edge it up slightly. Florence Foster Jenkins is great because it's part of the Hugh Grant Renaissance, where you've got him doing all of the same sort of thing, which he's great at. You've got Hugh
Grant's great in it. I mean, you're not gonna get any arguments from me about Hugh Grant.
Then you get a flat line, and then all of a sudden he's doing Pirates, he's doing Paddington 2, he's doing British Scandal, he's doing Florence Foster, where suddenly it's just a whole new man.
And he's doing he's going to do this Nicole Kidman prestige drama, murder drama thing, which I'm very excited about.
I love it for Hugh because it's just a bumbling fool. Isn't it?
Just very annoying. I just can't get over the whole.
Oh no, the whole bit where she's singing badly, and it's infuriating to watch because you just want to shout, "You're bad. You're very bad." Poor Hugh. Let him just.
Yeah, there's nowhere near enough for a full film. That's my biggest thing.
It feels like the opening. It sets out what it's going to be. And then it's just the same sort of scene repeated over and over again, her struggling with realizing she's not good. The ending pays off because she's like, I mean,
syphilis.
Not
Meryl's
that's the second best.
Second best syphilis film. People might be thinking like with our Meryl choices, like, what about Kramer versus Kramer?
Why haven't we done?
I think, if we were doing the 6 films. The 6 best films that Meryl's in.
I mean, we've got Meryl and Dustin coming up anyway, haven't we?
In what?
Is he not in?
We've got Graduate coming up. Is he not in what? It's not in Doubt.
Is he not in?
No, they only did Kramer versus Kramer.
That's sad.
She doesn't. She thinks he's really bad. Do you not remember? She thinks not really bad talent-wise. She thinks he's obviously excellent, but he got too method, and like when he smashes that glass in Kramer, she wasn't expecting it, and she was like, "It's not good to work with."
He's a very method, but especially in Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium. Is he?
Yeah, no. But like as I say, if we were actually doing the 6 best films that Meryl's in, then we'd be doing Deer Hunter and we'd be doing Kramer versus Kramer, Manhattan maybe. But we decided to pick 6 films where Meryl is big and the star. I mean, there's more than enough to pick, obviously. But yeah, so we chose Mamma Mia. Yeah, no, we have the wonderful Death Becomes Her coming up. Our 3rd Robert Zemeckis film.
I love Robert Zemeckis.
Who doesn't? Yeah, and then we'll be doing bloody Polar Express soon.
Oh, I mean, you get your directors. The 3 best sort of. Oh no, right. There's the 4 best director composer couples.
Okay.
As you've got right. Rank them for me. I'm going to give you them. So you've got
Spielberg Williams.
You've got Nolan Zimmer.
Nolan Zimmer. No,
You've got
that sounds like a drug. I take Nolan Zimmer. Oh.
You've got Zemeckis Silvestri.
Yeah.
And you've got Burton
Elfman. That sounds like a law firm. What about
Burton and Elfman? Solicitors.
What about Hitchcock Herman?
It's good, but I think
it's good, but it's not great.
the best.
I'll go Burton Elfman. I mean
Danny Elfman.
When we get to Tim Burton, whatever, Fortnight or whatever. He was my favorite director as a kid. I just love that style. I love that music.
Yeah.
Burton Elfman, Spielberg Williams, Zemeckis Silvestri. Did Silvestri do the music for Death Becomes Her? Yes, he did, because that is. Oh well, I don't want to spoil 10-minute stretch, but there is a musical number in Death Becomes Her which may just be the best thing that Meryl's ever done. And then what was your other one? Oh, Nolan Zimmer. I think the peak of Nolan Zimmer is Dark Knight. I think Interstellar score doesn't actually do anything for me. I know that everybody loves it.
Oh, everyone seems to play it on the piano.
Yeah. I think the peak of Nolan Zimmer is that dun, 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 dun. Anytime that track comes on in the Dark Knight trilogy, I get so pumped up, it's ridiculous. Like the final bit with the dogs, and when he jumps off away from Gary Oldman and he flies in, and they're like, they're not the gangsters. They're the doctors. The doctors are the gangsters. Oh, so exciting! What a film! I mean, cut the bit where he goes to Tokyo.
I mean, I've got it right here.
We've been through this. You don't have Rain Man. There's no Rain Man in there.
There is no Rain Man. This is the thing.
That's the
get
best.
all of your DVDs out on books whenever and I get out my musical composition.
That's the best Rain Man. That's the best Hans Zimmer is Las Vegas in Rain Man.
Oh, I do really like the Sherlock Holmes thing.
Oh, that's good too.
That's great.
Show. That was one of the ones where my mum was like, "Let's buy the CD." Never did. I don't think I think she tried to get it for Christmas, but she couldn't find it. So much to look forward to. Oh. So many great episodes coming. It's a great time to be alive, and it's a great time to subscribe, to listen. Have
you finally chosen an ending? Is this what you're doing?
It's a great time to be alive, and it's a great time to subscribe. Bang! Oh, it's not doing that thing where it doesn't do the thing again. That was a really good ending. Right, we're going to go again. It's a great time to be alive, and it's a great time to subscribe. Bang!